Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is the Silver Surfer Parable, collected hardcover from Marvel by Stan Lee and Moebius. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I knew almost nothing about this dude before I picked up this book. Honestly, from watching a Razor Fist video, just because he kind of gushed about the book a bit, and it is kind of mentioned fairly often in Stan Lee's sort of biography as one of his more prouder moments for his career as a writer. It's kind of interesting. I have read a lot of old Stan Lee stuff, in particular the old X-Men, which I'm not a huge fan of the older X-Men comics. I'm more of a fan of the Chris Claremont era, but Stan Lee's X-Men comics are fine. But I was kind of interested just because it was on sale. Yeah, I did not pay this price for it. This is a really nice hardcover book, but I don't think I would pay this price for it. And I just thought it was interesting art. And I just being dead honest, don't know anything about Moebius. Just looking at this thing fresh, with a fresh perspective. And I gotta say, I feel pretty much like a jackass for not knowing about this guy, because this guy is awesome. Man, this art is cool. So apparently this was kind of a big deal in the 80s for them to collaborate on this. And it's kind of interesting reading a lot of the text on this side. So it's only 2 issues, so it's really short. It only goes basically just this, right? So about 60 pages or so, like a little bit under that to complete this whole story. And it is a great story. I mean, it is really cool. I was honestly surprised. A lot of times Stan Lee's older works were really compressed, and it's not necessarily bad. You definitely got a story every time you read any of Stan Lee's stuff, but a lot of times there would just be a little too much. This was actually really, I found it was really easy to read. It didn't feel like it was too wordy, and yeah, it was great. So it's kind of stories about Galactus. He comes to Earth and effectively sets himself up as a god, and tells all of Earth that to worship him, and that he will end all the struggles and everything. It's sort of everyone's reaction to Galactus setting himself up as a deity in that way. God damn, man, this freaking I like this image. This image is freaking. This art is just really nice. Man, that's yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of gushing. This art's really cool. This is kind of like my first exposure to it outside of the stuff he's obviously influenced, like Blade Runner and other sort of Western movies. But I think what I really like, the whole concept of Galactus and everyone kind of reacting to him, and that side story is okay. I'm not super into it, but what I really think I was interested is just Silver Surfer's piece, and particularly these couple pages right here. So I'm not going to give away the story, but I will read off these couple pages because I think they're really cool. But effectively, this guy right here is effectively like a televangelist cult leader. He's kind of set himself up to be the prophet of Galactus. But he says here, humanity has wanted his coming since the dawn of time. He is the power. It is not for man to question his word or his will. He is law absolute, and I am his prophet. Then Silver Surfer comes in, kind of looking like a bum. He looks like, what is it, Cagliostro from Spawn in this one. You lie. False prophet, you bring shame to your calling. Who is that? Oh, by the way, the lettering is actually done by Moebius. Really interesting. The lettering is sometimes hard to read. Who is that ranting derelict? How did he get here? The building's been totally secured. No matter. Guards, silence the heretic. No, Colton, there's been enough killing. He's only one man, one voice. He cannot harm you. Suit yourself, Alina. I think, is that called Alina? I can't tell. He is beneath my notice. I have a new world to create. You are merciful. I thought that quality had vanished on Earth. Who are you? Who are you? Why do you oppose my brother? Your brother is driven by lust for power in the name of religion. He will subvert mankind. How can you be so sure of this? How can you not? Does he not espouse the teachings of Galactus, thus making a mockery of all that man has achieved? But Galactus is a god. Surely we must obey. Obey when children destroy their schools. obey precepts that turn brother against brother, that imprison the poor and the helpless. I have had those same thoughts, but I felt guilty because I lacked faith. Faith without judgment merely degrades the spirit divine. I sought to forsake the human race, to leave this pathetic world to its own mad devices. But perhaps I am the maddest of all, for I cannot turn away. What insane conceit possesses you? You think you can defy Galactus. You think you can make a difference. Yes, for in truth, any man can make a difference. Sorry, I forgot to push this up. It is not given to us to know whether we shall succeed or not. In failure there is no disgrace. There can be but one ultimate shame, the cowardice of having not tried. Who? What are you? I am called the Silver Surfer. Whoa, whoa, man. First off, the art's freaking amazing. But just the build up to this and how Stan Lee writes this is just, oh man, I don't know. I got goosebumps just reading these 2 pages because I was like, oh yeah, this is a build up right here. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You read the documents in the back, and yeah, definitely, if you can find this for a good price, totally pick it up because A, it looks freaking beautiful and it looks great on it, and it's also a good read. And you know, B, I'm gonna show this. This is really freaking cool. You get the sheet dust cover of this thing is a freaking poster, dude. It's not just any poster. On one side, you get like all of Moebius's. Sorry, I'm gonna have to recheck that. All of Moebius's, like, I guess, interpretations of Marvel heroes. So here's Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Wolverine. But you also get this freaking, epic. Yeah, it's too freaking awesome. Freaking epic poster at the end of it. Yeah, it's really interesting. The background articles in this book kind of go over Moebius, since he's apparently, you know, of the European style of comics, which I am completely ignorant of and know nothing of. I kind of wish I would spend more time or find some good European comics and do reviews of that as well. And I think I'm going to after reading this thing. This thing's awesome. He kind of goes over the Marvel method, which is the first time he's ever dealt with it. And it's also fascinating to me because I've kind of heard of it, and I've only kind of really thought of the traditional full script method. But Moebius was kind of talking about how much he enjoyed the Marvel method, which is what Stan Lee kind of generated, which is where the writer just gives you an outline and a plot, kind of like what I showed you in the Daredevil Man Without Fear graphic novel. And the writer really kind of tells the story graphically. They create the panels, they create the artwork and all of that stuff. And then the writer comes in and adds the captions or the dialogue and the captions in later. Very, very cool. But yeah, I could gush on this thing forever. The art is just freaking amazing. Oh man, just like look at this stuff. This is freaking gorgeous to look at. Yeah, his Wolverine interpretation is kind of weird, but I really like this Spider-Man piece, and I think his Punisher piece is really, really nice too. But yeah, Elektra's really, really cool in this drawing. But yeah, the quick answer is if you see this on sale, totally pick it up. It's freaking awesome. It's actually a great read. A lot of philosophical talks, and just a really cool story too. And just, oh man, I don't know. The art alone is worth it if you can get it on deal, probably for like 15-20 bucks. It's definitely worth it just for the art. But the story's actually pretty damn good. And those 3 pages of building up and revealing the Silver Surfer alone to me was like, oh man, really loved it. So anyhow, yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you got a comment about this, Stan Lee's writing, Moebius, or the Silver Surfer, put it down below. And yeah, I'm going to stop gushing, and I will see you next time.